Hey, I wanted to finish up what I was talking about with the previous video on experiencing imposter syndrome, and just to recap a little bit. I started writing pretty fairly intensely after my father passed in February, and I wrote for a couple months, just very specific memories, which I'll probably share parts of through videos, but recently I realized that because I took a little time off trying to figure out what I was really trying to do, or why I felt compelled to write. And I realized why I felt compelled to write was I wanted to discover from my experience with my dad, and how much I loved him and how important he was to me, myself as a father, and how to become the best possible father, the best possible husband, uh, as it relates to my experience with my father. So, kind of long introduction, but I started talking about last time imposter syndrome. And as I'm going through it, I'm realizing this has been something I've felt my whole life, and probably denied it. Well, not probably, I did. I had, I'm a teacher, and I've had dreams. They ended maybe 5 years ago, but so that's almost 20 years of teaching, where I had consistently, at least once a year, a dream where they told me that I actually hadn't graduated high school, and that I had to go back and finish my high school diploma in order to continue teaching. The last one was so specific, it was that I had failed chemistry, and so I had to teach my classes and then go upstairs and take chemistry with high schoolers. And so I was pretending that I was just like observing the class, but I was actually taking the class, and it was really embarrassing. But so, those are that. Now that I'm looking a little bit into imposter syndrome, I'm realizing that could fall under that, even in my dreams. So what I came to last time was that I was performing under the name Autoverse, but that was a band that I had formed, and I just didn't feel like that was me. I felt like an imposter playing my own music, which was very strange and disconcerting, to the point where the last time I played last week, I just kind of was like, okay, I'm just going to get through these. And I put my head down and I played, and I didn't say much. And I just, I performed 8 to 10 songs, and I was happy with the way the songs came out, but I felt like I bombed in the way I performed. So what I came up with was this idea that I'm just going to use my name to perform. Just, PJ Muldowney, I'm just going to play as that. Now, the funny thing was, when I first thought about it, I was like, what about just using Muldowney? But I came to this point where I was like, I can't stand on stage and say, I'm Muldowney. I thought that just sounded preposterous and odd for me. But I feel like I can say, hey, I'm PJ, I'm here to play a few songs and hope you enjoy them. I feel like I can do that comfortably. But saying I'm Muldowney, it sounded like, I don't know, just sounded odd, and that's where I had to come to terms with that. So the reason I went with this idea is I feel like it sets a personal tone. It creates a simple transition from the self to the artist, which should decrease the idea of feeling like an imposter. And also, like, sometimes when people go through life, they start to compartmentalize, like, this is my music self, this is my teaching self, this is my husband, father, coach, whatever, I'm just going through some of the things that I do, but they kind of wear them as hats. And what I really want to do is personalize myself to the point where it's not a hat, it's always me. You're not going to get some other person, you're going to get me. And that may not be, always perfect, but it is me, right? So that was the conclusion I drew. And so then I had to sit and think and say, okay, what is PJ Muldowney? Who am I? Like, what are my values? What do I want to communicate? What's at the core of me? So I came up with and these are just basics at this point because I have to flesh them out for sure, but I know the things that I really care about. I really care about my faith. I really care about my family. I really care about happiness and positivity and health. So those are all things that I have to make part of me and part of my story and part of what I project. So the cool thing is with that, as a writer of music, I've changed over the years. When I was in high school, college, and even coming out of that, even into my 30s, writing music was, I don't know if I'd call it an act of aggression, but it was an expression of frustration or anger, negativity, all of those things. So if I got upset about something, if I was annoyed with something, if I felt critical of something, then I was like, now it's time to write a song. I don't feel like that anymore. I want to write about my family and the positive things we go through, and the real things we go through as well. So it's not like all, I don't know, it's not going to be just all very lovey pop songs or anything like that. And what I've written is not all that. It has a definite truth to it, and it, I'm trying to bear what's going on, and hopefully that speaks to people. But I think, in the very least, I don't want to feel the way that I felt before. And if I do, I at least want a path to not becoming or not feeling as if I am an imposter in my own body, performing my own songs when I'm in front of an audience. So that's what I've come to, and I hope that becomes something that expands. I think it already has expanded into my family. I feel like I'm having better relationships, better reactions, but that's been going on for a while. I've really been working on that for basically for the entire time I've been married, or the entire time I've been a father, which was shortly after marriage. So this is something that I think I need to expand so that I don't feel like I'm an imposter in other ways, and hopefully I become a holistic person that you get PJ Muldowney, or whether you call me Pat or Patrick, whatever, but you get the personal me in whatever moment you see me. So that's all I can say about that discussion. Thank you if you tuned in.